The conquest of Egypt in 1517 was one of the most significant turning points in the history of the Middle East, marking the decisive end of the Mamluk Sultanate and the incorporation of Egypt into the rapidly expanding Ottoman Empire under Sultan Selim I, known as Yavuz, or the Grim. This campaign was part of the broader Ottoman-Mamluk War of 1516 to 1517, which began as a struggle for dominance over the Levant and the Red Sea trade routes. Tensions between the two powers had been growing for decades, as the Mamluks controlled Egypt, Syria, and the Hejaz, regions rich in resources and of immense religious significance due to their guardianship of the Muslim holy cities of Mecca and Medina, while the Ottomans sought to consolidate their influence over the Islamic world and secure commercial connections to the Indian Ocean. The war started with the Ottoman victory at the Battle of Marj Dablik in 1516, where the Mamluk Sultan al-Ghawri was killed, leaving the throne to his successor, Tuman Bay II, who faced the daunting task of defending Egypt from the inevitable Ottoman advance. After securing Syria and Palestine, Selim I turned his attention southward, leading a disciplined army of around 20,000 to 30,000 men, supported by a formidable artillery corps and Janissary infantry armed with firearms, weapons that were largely absent in the Mamluk arsenal. In contrast, the Mamluk forces, although courageous and skilled in mounted combat, relied heavily on traditional cavalry tactics, which had been highly effective in earlier centuries but were increasingly outdated against gunpowder-based warfare. The Ottomans marched along the Mediterranean coast before crossing into the Nile Delta, encountering scattered resistance from Mamluk detachments. Tuman Bay II, realizing the gravity of the threat, decided to make his stand at the Battle of Ridaniya, fought on January 22, 1517, just outside Cairo. He had fortified defensive positions with earthworks and trenches, and even considered attacking the Ottoman army before it reached the city. However, the Ottoman strategy proved superior. Their artillery bombardment shattered the Mamluk lines, and a flanking maneuver outpaced the defenders, causing chaos among the Egyptian ranks. The battle ended in a crushing Mamluk defeat, and Selim I entered Cairo shortly afterward. For a brief moment, the Ottomans faced urban unrest as some residents resisted the occupation, leading to street fighting, but these disturbances were quickly suppressed. Tuman Bay II, refusing to surrender, escaped into Upper Egypt, where he attempted to rally loyalists and wage a guerrilla campaign against the occupying forces. However, his position grew increasingly desperate as tribal leaders and former allies turned against him, either out of fear of Ottoman retaliation or in exchange for rewards. Betrayed by one of his supposed supporters, he was captured and brought before Selim I. The Ottoman Sultan reportedly offered him clemency if he swore allegiance, but when Tuman Bay refused, he was executed by hanging at Cairo's Bab Zuwayla Gate, a symbolic location that marked the traditional entrance to the city. With his death, the Mamluk Sultanate ceased to exist as an independent state, though the Mamluk elite were not entirely destroyed. Selim I incorporated many of them into the Ottoman provincial administration, where they continued to serve as military commanders and local governors under Ottoman authority. Egypt became a key province of the empire, ruled by an Ottoman governor, Beylerbey, and garrisoned with imperial troops. The conquest not only gave the Ottomans control over the fertile and economically vital Nile Valley, but also secured the strategic trade routes that connected the Mediterranean to the Red Sea, enhancing their ability to challenge Portuguese expansion in the Indian Ocean. Furthermore, Selim I's victory brought the Hejaz under Ottoman suzerainty, making him the protector of Mecca and Medina, a role that greatly increased his prestige in the Islamic world and reinforced the empire's claim to leadership of the Muslim community. The 1517 conquest of Egypt therefore represented far more than a simple military victory. It was a geopolitical transformation that shifted the balance of power in the region for centuries, integrated Egypt into the heart of the Ottoman imperial system, and established the new order in which the Ottomans became the dominant Islamic power, both politically and religiously, until the dawn of the modern era.